Remember the first ever Oprah show guest? Here she is, 30 years later. To view the full article, click the first link in the description below. Chennai, Karipur Airport is unsafe and landing should not be allowed here, especially during wet conditions, Captain Mohan Ranganathan, a member of a safety advisory committee constituted by the Ministry of Civil Aviation, had warned more than 9 years ago. The crash of an Air India plane on Friday suggests the warning went unheeded. My warning, issued after the Mangalore crash, was ignored. It is a tabletop runway with a downslope. The buffer zone at the end of the runway is inadequate, he said. Given the topography, he pointed out, the airport should have a buffer of 240 meters at the end of the runway, but it has only 90 meters, which the DGCA had approved. Moreover, the space on either side of the runway is only 75 meters instead of the mandatory 100 meters, he told TOI. Ranganathan said there is no guideline for operations on a tabletop runway when it is raining. In his June 17, 2011 letter addressed to the chairman of the Civil Aviation Safety Advisory Committee, Casac, with copies to the Civil Aviation Secretary and Director General of Civil Aviation, Ranganathan had said, runway 10 approach should not be permitted in view of the lack of runway and safety area, RESA, and the terrain beyond the end of the runway. RESA of 240 meters should be immediately introduced and runway length has to be reduced to make operations safe. If an aircraft is unable to stop within the runway, there is no RESA beyond the end. The ILS localiser antenna is housed on a concrete structure and the area beyond is a steep slope. The 2011 letter said, the Air India Expressaccident in Mangalore should have alerted I to make the runway conditions safe. We have brought up the issue of RESA during the initial Casac subgroup meetings. We had specifically mentioned that the declared distances for both runways have to be reduced in order to comply with ICAO Annex 14 requirement. He said the condition of the runway strip was known to the DGCA. Chennai, Karipur Airport is unsafe and landing should not be allowed here, especially during wet conditions, Captain Mohan Ranganathan, a member of a safety advisory committee constituted by the Ministry of Civil Aviation, had warned more than 9 years ago. The crash of an Air India plane on Friday suggests the warning went unheeded. To view the full article, click the first link in the description below.